Y'all forgot about Nurse Hannah? Y'all, she came back on this app and she ain't never addressed shit. Let me remind you guys that this is the Nurse Hannah that had CPS called on her. People called CPS on Nurse Hannah because she would not buy her son a jacket and she took him out in -degree weather. There were also videos of her husband smacking her son's hand away from food and taking food away from him. And she's also the 17 Diapers mom. There was also a video of Nurse Hannah and her husband at the store with their kids, and her husband goes to hand something to their son and he flinched so hard. And now she's on TikTok complaining how she's unemployed, but this is the same Hannah that gives thousands of dollars to the church. So after the investigation from CPS was over, she actually took a break from social media for like a month. She turned her comments off, then she filtered them, and then she slowly started coming back as like some Pilates, yoga, doing type shit mother. So it's giving she's trying to be like a lifestyle influencer. I don't fucking know. And then she also said that she was going to go work at McDonald's because she can't find a job.
Nurse Hannah was at the center of major controversy last year when videos surfaced showing her and her husband mistreating their son. This led to serious backlash, CPS getting involved, and even an investigation being launched. She went silent for a while, but now she is back, and not just back, but with a whole new narrative. This time it's all about her struggle to find a job. Hannah recently opened up about being unemployed for 12 weeks after her last assignment as a travel nurse was cancelled. She claims she has been applying everywhere but keeps getting turned down due to low patient census, meaning there just isn't a demand for her services. Now she's so desperate that she's even considering working at McDonald's. Yeah, you heard that right. And considering that we've seen her and her husband do late night DoorDash runs, it is clear that things have not been going well for them. But the question is this really the full story, or is there something more behind her struggles? Now let's break this down. Hannah is a travel nurse, which means she only gets assignments when medical facilities need extra staff. But according to her, no one is hiring her right now. She moved to a new city at the end of the last year, and apparently that hasn't worked out the way she hoped. She says she's supposed to work 40 hours a week, but has only managed to get 10 shifts total. Obviously, that's not sustainable, and she's feeling the stress. She's been vocal about how frustrating it is to constantly apply for jobs only to get rejected.
I've officially been unemployed for 2 full weeks now. I'm gonna tell you guys how I've maintained living on a budget. We have been a dual income household for the last 5 years, so me being unemployed is not something that we were used to. Yes, my husband still works, and yes, I still make money from social media. However, for the last 5 years, we've only lived off of my nursing income. For the most part, my husband's income and social media goes straight into savings, or towards paying off the house or things like that. This has just been what has worked for us. I'm not saying this is the correct way to do it or that you have to do this. We just find that it's easier to set aside one of our paychecks straight into savings and then the other one we live off. Obviously, lately we've been having to rely more on our savings and on my husband's paychecks versus my nursing income. What's been really stressful watching our savings account just decrease. That being said, we're living on a very tight budget right now. Grocery runs are very minimal. Activities, we've basically been staying at home. Restaurants, we probably eat out maybe once or twice a week. When we do that, we are keeping it usually under like 20-25 bucks. Yes, we still pay tithing on my social media money and on my husband's paychecks. We just don't buy anything that's unnecessary. No Target runs, no Amazon shopping sprees, anything like that. And once I finally get a paycheck, that's going straight into the savings to replenish it. I'll keep you updated for sure.
But here's the thing, travel nursing has always been unpredictable. It is a temporary position by nature, and contract cancellations happen all the time. And while a lot of people might sympathize with someone in her position, there is still this huge elephant in the room. The issue is the same woman who was caught on camera mistreating her child. When CPS got involved, she disappeared from social media and turned off her comments and avoided addressing the situation altogether. Many people thought she would stay offline, focus on her family, and work on making things right. But instead, she came back like nothing ever happened, just shifting her content to exclude her children.
Did you see that Nurse Hannah is back? And I think we all know why Nurse Hannah being back is a problem, but one thing I haven't seen is people mentioning the tragedy that is her highlights. Call me shallow, but I couldn't really pay attention to anything that was going on in the video because I was too busy staring at her 2-inch root, the 2000-esque chunky highlights that are very brassy and not toned. Why would she come back to the internet like that? Like, what is going on? Anyways, I saw that she's back. She posted a get ready with me. New year, new me, like, no, Hannah. New year, same old you, and you're a problem, and We don't want you here.
It also makes you wonder, why isn't she securing other nursing opportunities? If travel nursing isn't working, there are still options. She could take a staff position, she could try home health care, or she could go back to school to further her qualifications. But instead of doing any of that, she's spending time online complaining about the lack of job security that travel nursing has always had. Could it be that something else is stopping her from getting hired? Maybe her previous CPS case raised red flags in the healthcare industry, leading hospitals to hesitate in hiring her. If a mother has a history of neglecting her own child, it does make people wonder if she can provide proper care for patients. Hospitals and healthcare facilities conduct background checks, and while we don't know the full details of her case, it is not far-fetched to think it may be affecting her job prospects. So now, instead of addressing the past or taking accountability, she's back online venting about how hard life is for her.
I seriously cannot believe this is happening again. I was hoping to have some good news for you guys today, but that good news turned into bad news really fast. I'm a travel nurse and my assignment got canceled and I've been unemployed for 11 days now. No, scratch that. I think it's 12 days actually. And the other day I signed a new contract for a new job. I was really excited to tell you guys until it got canceled again this morning. For the same exact reason, low census. Said they had a bunch of discharges and now no longer needed me. Which leaves me back at square freaking one. Unemployed. So this morning I've called and applied at every facility in my near area. I've made dozens and dozens of phone calls and I've been on my computer all morning. I was angry, I had a panic attack, I was crying, I've had all the emotions today. I just don't understand why this keeps happening. I've never experienced this before. I've lived in this new city for over a month now and I've worked literally 10 shifts. I'm supposed to work 40 hours a week and I've worked 10 shifts. When I got this news, I seriously feel like I was gonna throw up. I'm nauseous, I'm seeing stars, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. We go work at McDonald's or something? I have no idea. With it being the middle of the week already, I can probably confirm that I won't be working at all this week. I don't know what to do.
And look, we get it. Being unemployed is stressful, but here's the thing. She still has TikTok. Her platform is still making her money. The algorithm still pushes her content. So why is she acting like she absolutely has no way to support herself? What is also interesting is that she's been openly donating money to her church. And while there is nothing wrong with that, it does make people question her priorities.
So I already made $100 this week, but I don't want to connect to my bank account. What can I do? First of all, $100 in 1 week is actually insane, but you actually don't have to connect your bank account. You can get paid through PayPal, you can get paid through gift cards like Visa, Amazon, Starbucks, etc. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I recently posted about this app where you get paid to test out games on your phone. And my biggest hack for this is just to test out multiple games at once because then you get paid more money. And if you want to make even more money, you can make in-app purchases and they reimburse you as you get to new levels. So if you're interested in making a little bit extra money this year, I'm going to put the account in my description and the link to it is in their bio. Have fun.
If she's really struggling this much, shouldn't she be focusing on making sure she and her family are okay first? Because think about it. If you're worried about paying bills, the last thing you'd be doing is giving away money when you don't know where your next paycheck is coming from. It just doesn't add up. Instead of complaining about not getting hired, maybe it is time for her to explore other options, like going back to school to become a registered nurse. RN positions offer more stability compared to LPNs, and let's not forget that she was once bragging about making more money than RNs. Back then, she was so confident, acting like LPNs had it just as good, if not better, than registered nurses. But now, reality has hit and she's realizing that LPNs don't have the same job security. The irony of it all is just wild. And let's not forget, when she first gained attention, it wasn't for her nursing career or financial struggles, it was for her parenting. So many people assumed she had left social media to work on herself, to reflect, to change for the better. But no, instead, she is back, posting regularly, engaging in drama, and hoping that people will just forget what happened. But that's not how the internet works. Once something like this is out there, it doesn't go away. It's also like she's trying to rewrite history. Like if she just keeps pushing out content, keeps talking about anything other than what really happened, people will eventually move on. But the internet isn't that forgiving. People remember, and whether she likes it or not, that past is always going to follow her. If she had taken even a second to acknowledge what happened, to show real growth, maybe, just maybe, people would have been willing to let it go. But instead, she's pretending it never happened, and that is exactly why people aren't buying this whole "who is me" narrative now. And let's be real, Hannah's history isn't something people are just going to forget. There are actual videos of her refusing to buy her son a coat in freezing weather, pulling a chair from under him so he would fall, and even letting her husband mistreat him on camera. We've seen footage of her house littered with dirty diapers while she had a newborn in it. These aren't just rumors or speculation. These are things people saw with their own eyes, and the internet never forgets. What makes this even worse is that she never took accountability. No apology, no acknowledgement, no attempt to clear the air, nothing. She completely ignored the backlash, turned off her comments, disappeared for a while, and then popped back up as if nothing ever happened. It is not like people are asking for a dramatic breakdown or some over-the-top confession, but at the very least, a statement addressing the situation would have been a step in the right direction. Instead, she chose to act as if the controversy never existed. And now, after trying to erase her past, she's suddenly back looking for sympathy. She's online venting about her job struggles, frustrated about being unemployed, and even talking about possibly working at McDonald's. But here's the thing, how are people supposed to feel bad for her when she's never addressed the real issue? How can she expect the same audience she ignored during the worst of the backlash to now rally behind her and support her when she needs help? The truth is, if she had come back with some sort of explanation, if she had even acknowledged the situation head on, maybe people would have been willing to move on. Maybe some would have even been open to seeing her in a new light, but instead she's pretending none of it ever happened, and it's exactly why people are not buying into it. Now here's the real question, could her employment struggles have something to do with the CPS case? If medical facilities are rejecting her applications, is it possible that something came up in her background check? We don't know for sure, but it's definitely something to think about. What if her license was revoked and she just hasn't admitted it yet? We know that state licensing boards take child welfare cases seriously. If CPS was involved to the extent of opening an investigation, it is possible that her actions raised concerns about her ability to work in healthcare. Maybe she was placed on some sort of probation, or worse, lost her ability to practice altogether. If that's the case, it would make sense why she's suddenly talking about working at McDonald's. Is this her way of easing the public into the idea that she might actually have to take a completely different kind of job? Rather than outright admitting that she can no longer work as a nurse, is she subtly preparing people for a drastic shift in her career? If that's the case, what does it mean for her future? Is she planning on sticking with social media full-time? And if so, how long can she really sustain that before people completely turn away? The internet has a short attention span, but when it comes to scandals involving children, people tend to remember. No matter how much time passes, no matter how much she tries to rebrand herself, those past videos will always exist. The internet never forgets. Every time she posts, there will always be people in her comments reminding her of what she did. Even if she tries to ignore it, those reminders will always be there, lingering like a shadow over her content. And the real problem, she never addressed any of it. If she had made a statement, opened up to her mistakes, or at least attempted to show growth, maybe the conversation would be different. But instead, she ignored it, hoping it would all go away. And now she faces her own struggle. She wants people to sympathize with her, but how can they? How can the same audience she abandoned when things got tough be the same expected to rally behind her? At the end of the day, people aren't forgetting what they saw. They're not ignoring the fact that she was caught on video treating her child poorly. So what do you guys think? Do you think her struggles are real, or do you think there is more to the story? Should people move on and give her another chance, or is she still the same person who mistreated her child on camera? What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and do not forget to like and subscribe for more updates. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.